Hey, Brandon, got a riddle for you.
A riddle? Ooh. Oh.
Get it? The riddle was I was the Packers' run defense. I was never there. That's who
I was going to say that, but you froze, and I didn't know you froze.
Yeah,
and then
it kicked me out, so
yeah,
I made it work.
I was going to make a Packers run defense joke. So
my question was, what's the Philadelphia Eagles' favorite song? And it's "Run It" by Chris Brown.
Oh,
yeah, because the defense is not on the floor. Yep. Nope. It was not. It was not. But folks, we here.
I was like, is he going to say something? We steer.
You in the right direction. Welcome to another edition of the Grossi Perna Show. Tom Grossi, Brandon Perna, and this is GPS. And the S stands for sadness today because both of our teams, we got issues. We got issues. Listen, Brandon, maybe you feel a little bit better, though. The Raiders beat the Seahawks. So, like, maybe that makes you feel a little better because, like, you lost to the Raiders and it was really embarrassing. But now it's like, hey, they beat the Seahawks.
No, not really.
Okay, sorry.
The way I see it is there's this weird phenomenon happening this season. And whoever the Broncos play, they actually are playing the number one defense in NFL history that week. We just don't know it. You know, like hindsight will tell us, yeah, actually the Panthers defense this week was a top 10 all-time defense. The Titans a couple weeks ago, best defense we've ever seen. Jaguars, we beat the Jags. They beat the Ravens. That was kind of crazy. Oh, yeah. So there's nothing the Broncos can do if every single week they're playing the greatest defense of all time. It's the only thing that can explain how bad their offense is at this point. Besides the list of injuries that's longer than old St. Nick's at this point. But things are bad over here, Tom. Things are not good.
Yeah, I hear you, buddy. Listen, I hear you loud and clear.
You know, hey, you guys got a good half of football out of the Packers.
We did.
Last night. That was a fun first half. What, 2020? Yeah.
Nice job, Packers. I mean, the defense at the very end of the half wasn't good. But you know what? We put together 2 quarters of football, and that's a lot more than I thought it usually would. So that's something. That is definitely.
I'm pretty sure the Broncos haven't scored any points in the third quarter this entire season.
Brandon, someone was asking me during my streams yesterday, who do you think wins between the Broncos and the Packers right now?
Oh, Packers.
You think so?
Yeah. Yeah, the Broncos are, a couple of weeks ago, I'd say, ooh, I don't know. Could be spicy. The Broncos defense is, they've reached a point where they are no longer going to carry the team. Yeah. We gave up 23 points to Sam Darnold.
You did. Yeah, you did.
The Panthers ran the ball down our gullets, not like the Eagles. I mean, we lost in, Sam Darnold completed 11 passes in his effort to beat the Broncos. Aaron Rodgers completed 11 passes before exiting that game early. So, I mean, we could draw a lot of parallels. Did we give up 363 rushing yards to the Eagles? No. But Panthers, nearly 200 to Carolina.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
I think it's just every week we should try and debate each other on whose team is worse.
I agree.
And just be like, no, you would win.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it was bad. We'll start off with the Broncos since they were the early game. You had offensive linemen yelling at Russell Wilson. That was like the big viral clip that was going crazy yesterday. Do you know what that was about?
I do. A defensive lineman, Mike
D-line,
Purcell, nose tackle. I believe he's from Colorado, even. Old Mike Purcell. We love Mike Purcell. I think so. That clip happened. Obviously, it was blowing up, and then I popped it out as a short. And like I said, what I thought, where Purcell's pissed off, just fired up. He had just gotten a penalty too, so he had just gotten an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on the Panthers' extra point attempt. So he's angry, and he kind of yells at Russell Wilson. I don't think it was like as crazy as people want to make it out to be. And I think he's just trying to get something going. And that's like was my guess. And yeah, after the game, Purcell said, I was frustrated. So I was yelling at him. We were just frustrated. He's like, I just got a penalty. And then Russ said, he said, let's effing go. And I loved it. Like, he was yelling at us to get something going. So like, I don't think it's a huge deal, but I do think it shows like the defense is tired of waiting for the offense to do something every game. And the funny part about that is that penalty that he just got, losing the cool. They applied on the following kickoff. So, the Panthers are kicking from the 50. And instead of just, blasting out of the end zone or whatever, they do a pooch kick to try and make a play happen. And the Broncos, of course, fumble the ball on the return with the pooch kick. Give the Panthers the ball back. So then Mike Purcell has to go right back on the field after he's just screaming at Russell Wilson to do something. Russ doesn't even get the chance to go out there and do something. And then it's like the image of Nathaniel Hackett standing in front of them with his sunglasses on and having no idea what's happening behind him is just a little too fitting for where he's at on the season, not really having a beat on the team. So, I don't think it was a big deal, but I do think it's symbolic in terms of where this team's at. And I think when I say I don't think the Broncos can beat the Packers, I think the defense is just kind of done for the rest of the year, which is, what is it, almost December on my fake watch? That's usually when the defense checks out after they've gotten nothing from the offense all season. So, par for course. Another stupid stat I saw after the video, Nathaniel Hackett, 3-7. They're 3-8 now, but 3-7 in his first 10 games as head coach, right? Vic Fangio, Vance Joseph, first 10 games, 3-7. So no matter what this team does, it's exactly the same, Tom.
I hear you. Listen, speaking of defenses giving up, I know that feeling very, 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 very well. Yep. Jalen Hurts, the first player in NFL history, 125 rushing yards, 125 passing yards in the first half.
Wow.
In the first half. 363 rushing yards. Listen, the Packers, they got injuries. Devondre Campbell out, Sean Gary out, Eric Stokes out. But good God, that performance on defense was so pitiful. And listen, the Eagles are a good football team, right? They are a run-heavy team. Jalen Hurts is a good QB. It's just they never made an adjustment. Every time the defense maybe made a stop, the offense didn't do anything. Every time the offense was doing something, the defense allowed points. And at the very end, Jordan Love comes in, right, for an injured Aaron Rodgers. He throws a great pass to Christian Watson, who scurries in for a tutty, and you're like, hey, this is a one-possession game. Can the defense make a stop and give them the ball back? The answer was no. The answer was a resounding no. And now we're at a point where it's not an oblique injury. It's a rib injury. Aaron Rodgers confirmed that in his press conference and basically said that he hurt his ribs in the second quarter. They got re-aggravated in the third quarter. It was tough for him to breathe. He couldn't really turn. He was having a lot of pain. He was worried it might have been a punctured lung. So they went out. They did a test on it. Nothing was conclusive yet. He anticipated playing still this week, depending on the outcome of the tests that are going to be done today. Because now the question in Green Bay is, okay, is it time to sit down Aaron Rodgers and see what we have for the last 5 games with Jordan Love? And that's a very valid question because, again, we need to make a decision on his 5th-year option at the end of this year. But that was the question that was asked to Rodgers like 18 different ways in his press conference. And he's like, listen, as long as we're not mathematically eliminated, I want to be out there and playing. When we're eliminated or if we get eliminated, then I'm willing to have those conversations. So it seems that unless something is going to shut him down where he literally physically can't play or the Packers are eliminated for the playoffs, we're going to see Aaron Rodgers out there every week. So, yeah, it's a time.
Well, it's following in line exactly what you've been saying the last couple of weeks. The Packers kind of had, and I don't want to call it an excuse because his thumb injury is real. And I think we learned a little more this week about how significant the thumb injury was. But now he's got another injury on top of that.
Yep.
And they're going to find out how extensive it is. But like the Packers are in the position where they do have a legitimate reason to figure out what they have with Jordan Love. And long-term play, that's not a bad thing. And I do think Green Bay, it's taken a while, but they have found a guy in Christian Watson. So, 6 touchdowns in the last 3 games, right? Yeah. So that's a big positive.
Not happening.
Get Romeo Dubs back at some point, and you have an off season. If it's probably going to happen, Aaron Rodgers comes back. You should be going into next year optimistic as well.
Well, here's the problem, Brian. So, yes, this is the question. Flambeau is talking about this. It doesn't matter if Love looks like an MVP. Like, let's just say that he starts for 4 games, right? He goes out there and he just balls out. Aaron Rodgers do $50 million guaranteed next year. He was asked again too about the offseason. Like, are you not going to make a decision until, the season's over? And he goes, yep, not until the season's over. I really think he is going to be coming back. The question is, what does that mean about Jordan Love? Are you going to get this sample size and go, okay, now he has trade value because we're actually getting an extended look at him? Because this is what drives me insane, and this has happened for the past 3 years. We have not gotten a good look at Jordan Love. He had no preseason his first year, so we saw no playing time. He played on a short week against Kansas City in Arrowhead because Aaron Rodgers got COVID, so we saw that one, and he didn't look that great. But he then was injured that previous preseason too, so he only played a handful. Then on top of that, he played the preseason this year, and he looked better, right? But again, it's the preseason. Nobody knows. And then last night, in a very, very small sample size, he looked pretty good, right? The throws looked good. They were on time. They were accurate. But again, it's only a handful of snaps. So the thing is, the Packers do not know what they have. They could practice. They could do drills. That's great. Aaron actually spoke about this and said that, he's looked better in practice and he's been developing more. That's all well and good. The issue is nobody knows what we have in Jordan Love. There's potential. Yes, he could be a bust. He could be terrible, but nobody knows. And so now these last games could be, hey, what do we have?
Easy solution here. You don't even need to play him, Tom. The Broncos will give you the 49ers first-round draft pick for Jordan Love right now. Makes sense. Knows Hackett's offense. Come in. Go behind Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson sucks next year. Jordan Love time starts now in Denver.
Why are you always trying to go after my QBs?
I don't know. I'm desperate.
It's fair. It's fair. Because Aaron Rodgers, listen, I think he's going to play next year. And yeah, there is some room for optimism with that. We'll see Aaron Jones. I mean, I don't know how you let Aaron Jones go, but his contract is going to be rough.
Send him to Denver, baby. We'll take his money for you.
So that's going to be tough. But let's talk about the big elephant in the room, and that is the defense. Because this defense, which was supposed to be top 5, top 10, has been absolute garbage. And again, there are injuries, but Joe Barry, he ain't the guy. He is not the guy. Could see Danny Etling. Yeah. Not the guy. 2, players just straight up are not playing well. Rasul Douglas hasn't been playing well. Jair Alexander also got banged up last night. He looked at times, didn't look like he was playing that great. Darnell Savage hadn't been playing great. He got injured earlier in the game. It is so bad. And it's like Joe Barry needs to go. That's one, because just the scheme is not working. And they have no pass rush. And I don't know. Like, it's going to be interesting because our safety room next year is going to be rough. Amos is probably not going to be back. Darnell Savage, we picked up his 5th-year option, but that doesn't look like that was a good move. So, yeah. And again, like, people are talking about trading Aaron Rodgers. 1, he decides if he gets traded or not. And 2, what team is going to pick that up? Like, that guy is getting paid so much money. With what money, Perna?
We are Walmart. We will make it happen. You don't think we could finagle some money out of the system?
Talking about money laundering?
Look, if Walmart needs to make Russell Wilson disappear to make his contract disappear, they will do it, Tom. They will do it.
They'll just act like he's starting a union and they'll take care of him.
Rob Walton, he'll simply sit down with Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk and be like, yo, you got an extra one of those rocket ships laying around? Because I got a quarterback I literally need to send to the moon. Then Wilson on the moon.
High knees?
No. Well, yes. Warm up with his high knees. And then he starts throwing literal moon balls. Oh, my God. You know how far a moon ball from the moon from Russell Wilson could go? Maybe to Venus. I don't know. And that's the thing.
I get intercepted.
I like astronomy. Let's talk about black holes, because that's basically where my love for football has disappeared to. A black hole.
Okay.
The crazy part is, and this is going to sound crazy, Tom, because I just said this is the crazy part. I think Russell Wilson can still play all right. I think he can be an all right QB. It's the Broncos have so many problems that you can't just say it's all Russell Wilson. It's coaching. It's Wilson. It's injuries. It's injuries causing a horrible offensive line. It's no running game. It's no freaking playmakers doing anything in the receiving game. Another game where Cortland Sutton drops a touchdown pass. I mean, it didn't matter. We eventually scored. The Broncos scored 3 touchdowns on one drive, and none of them counted, Tom.
I saw that.
We had to score the 4th one for it to count. So that's where my optimism is. It's so bad. It's so horrible.
Yeah.
That with some improvements, it could get a little better. We could be a little bit better next year. And then we'll do it all over again. That said,
hey, look, did you have 15 missed tackles? Because we did.
No, we did not.
15.
No.
15. 1-5. 1-5. Yep.
We got a 52-yard run out of Latavius Murray.
Hey.
And then immediately fumbled the ball away to the Panthers.
That sounds about right.
Worst offense since 2000, the Denver Broncos.
That's a stat.
22 years of football with rules that favor the offense, and we're the worst.
Yep.
We were better with Teddy Bridgewater. We were better with Drew Lock. We were better with Joe Flacco, with Case Keenum, with Paxton Lynch, with Trevor Siemian.
Brock Osweiler?
Brock Osweiler, of course. A lot better with Brock.
What about Tebow?
Yeah. I mean, here's the difference with Tim Tebow. And I talked about this.
He believed in God more than Russell Wilson.
Oh, he believed way harder. Way harder.
And it worked. So
yeah. I mean, I want a God off. I want a God off between Russ and Tebow.
They just have the rosaries as they're snapping towards each other.
Yeah. So with Tebow, it was the worst offense I'd really seen for the first 3.5 quarters of football. And then some magic would happen every week. So in the Panthers game, and the Broncos weren't going to win, but they did finally score that touchdown. And then they recover an onside kick. And we watched that happen with Tebow. I think it was against the Dolphins. It was either the Dolphins or Jets game where they needed an insane amount of points at the end. They score a touchdown, get the 2-point conversion, get the onside kick, go down and score again. So the Broncos get the onside kick, and usually a team can ride that momentum, right? Things start happening like, oh, yeah, let's go out there. Offense is dealing.
Yeah.
4 incomplete passes in a row by the Broncos after recovering the onside kick. They net 0 yards. And the final pass, and Russ is under duress every single time. Like, again, he has not been good, but he had nobody blocking for him because we're so hurt. And he gets the ball to Kendall Hinton, who drops it. And it would have been a first down. He was past the first down marker, drops it. So that's just the way shit goes this year. They say it rolls downhill. Well, it rolls uphill. It rolls sideways. It's in our eyes. It is in our mouth. The shit is everywhere in Denver, Tom.
Hey, buddy. I'm going to make you feel better. I'm going to make you feel better, okay? Tom Brady lost to the Cleveland Browns.
Yes, he did. Like I said that. Oh, yeah. He's cooked too. He's cooked too, Tommy. Spoiler alert, in my best and worst today, Tom Brady will be getting the worst QB of the week award. Oh.
Yeah. Buccaneers fans, I think you're still going to win the division. Every team in the NFC South back to having a losing record. Yeah. Just a rough day for the NFC South. The only team that won was the Panthers.
Cool.
The Saints got shut out to the Commanders. I'm sorry. The Saints got shut out to the 49ers. The Commanders beat the Falcons, and the Cleveland Browns.
Going to OT. I mean, this is why I don't think Tom Brady is Tom Brady anymore. And he's still bad. Tom Brady's still like top 15 QB in the league. Okay. Top 13. How many times have you seen Tom Brady lose to a team beneath him with the game on the line? Fourth quarter or overtime. Plenty of chances for the Buccaneers to win that game.
Oh, yeah.
And they just don't. It is. We are watching the downfall of Tom Brady. And for everybody who enjoyed watching his greatness along the way, also enjoy the downfall. Because should have retired, old ass man. Should have retired. And if Patriots Tom Brady watched this version of himself, he would be disgusted. Disgusted with the way he's playing. Pretty good, but not great. Pretty good, but not great, Tom.
I mean, so I listen. I know that you hate Tom Brady.
Suck ass QB, you suck.
Sure.
What?
Yes. Tristan Wirfs got injured. He's going to be out. I think they said because the X-rays were negative. So he's going to be out for a few weeks, I think. Yeah, missed 3 to 4 weeks because of his ankle injury.
Tom Brady has a bad offensive line, but he's still so cool and good. So what about Russell Wilson? We've got neither starting tackles or centered. We're more hurt on the line than the Bucs. But continue. You still got Mike Evans. You got Chris Godwin. You got 50 tight ends. Oh, what else happened to this suck ass?
But I'm saying, do you think it's all Tom Brady? Because I feel like the play calling is also abysmal. Like they didn't
do OC from last year. Tom's the one who wanted Bruce Arians gone. Idiot. Oh, let's get rid of this coach that helped me win a Super Bowl because I'm tired of his guff. I don't like the cut of his jib. Eat your crow, Tom Brady. Why don't you own up to sucking? Why don't you own up to it, Tom? I'm obviously channeling my anger for the Broncos just right at Brady right now.
Yeah, like it really
Right
is just
at him.
all going. I'm just
And it's
letting you have
getting
it,
I'm
buddy.
getting more heated as we go. So
You
we
just gotta
better
get it out.
give me
You
another
got
excuse for this old man being horrible at quarterback. See, I just a minute ago said he was like still pretty good. Now he's bottom 20.
Yeah, so that's rough. Again, I still think they're probably going to win the division.
Try
I have to
4
say,
missing linemen, but okay.
because dude, it's the South. The South is so bad. They're
Yeah.
so bad. If there was a halfway decent team there, they would be running away with this division. Like they're still the 4 seed, which is wild. And now, by the way, the entire NFC East is in the playoffs as of right now. As of right now, they're all in there, including the Washington Commanders. Mr. Oh, they peaked. They
beat the
peaked.
Falcons.
Yeah, who have been pretty solid this year.
They've been okay.
They've been pretty solid this
They've
year.
been okay.
They beat the Falcons, and now Wildflower, after unveiling the statue of Sean Taylor, which is literally just the store mannequin with the jersey on, they went out there and they beat the Falcons. Boom. And they're now currently in the playoffs of the season, ended today.
I'll hand it to the Falcons for,
winning.
Trying to stick to their strength, which is running the football.
Bernie, you got a fitty.
Whoa, Mac. Thanks, Mac.
Mac.
Return of the Mac. Return of the Mac. We were supposed to use Marlon Mack in our football game. Didn't. Let's see here.
What do you got for him?
Let's see here. Buffalo's our only hope. Our only hope for glory moving forward.
Yeah, I saw that too. Yeah, we'll talk about that. Yeah, literally a player from the sideline ran after an interception, like ran onto the field and started blocking. That was great.
Yeah, let me, who was that? I got it in my...
Daryl
Taylor. Daryl Taylor.
Because he thought the play was over, I think, right? And it was just like going down to celebrate, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. Like, he runs on the field during the return, and he goes and kind of gets in front of a Raider to do a little bit of a block, and then the whoever intercepted the pass runs out of bounds. But that was hilarious. The Jaguars mascot in his bikini, pretty funny.
Yep.
Brian Robinson in the giant hat.
Yep.
There's a lot of comedy this week. And
there was.
Look, I don't think the Commanders are great, but they are playing those tough, gritty games.
And
I am happy to see Brian Robinson do well after being shot this season multiple times. First 100-yard performance for Brian, so that's pretty cool.
Listen, if Dan Snyder wasn't there, I'd be so happy for the command. I'm still happy for the Commanders because, like, I like Ron Rivera. I like a bunch of players on the team, but I just hate Dan Snyder and everything that he stands for. So it's tough, but I just think it's really funny that the Commanders went from being god awful and are now the number 7 seed in the NFC. Just like that whole division, just go to the playoffs. Just go. You know who's not in the playoffs right now in the AFC? The New England Patriots.
Ooh, yeah.
I'm just trying to make you feel better, buddy. I'm just trying to give you like little pieces to make you feel a little bit better.
Doesn't help.
Listen, bud. When the Broncos are mathematically eliminated, then you could just go into petty, chaotic, like Perna. You could just go in and be like, I am praying for everyone's downfall.
Ooh.
Just do it that
way.
way.
But the way I have to do it is I have to start glorifying the team. Right? Because whatever I root for is what falls.
Honestly, that's accurate. That is 100% accurate.
Yeah. So right now, as I see it, Tom, I don't think any team in the league is better than the Chiefs. Like, the Kansas City Chiefs are such a complete team that they can beat you any facet of the game. You need them to run the football. Well, they can do it now with Isaiah Pacheco. Patrick Mahomes, not even a single person in the league can touch this guy in terms of the MVP race. And by the way, the health of the Chiefs, they are the healthiest team ever. Like, shout out to their trainer, to the way they prep for success. Offensive line, flawless. You lose Tyreek Hill, doesn't matter. You got 50 other guys who can make up the production. Just perfect health, perfect coaching. Andy Reid never makes a wrong decision. Their defense gets better as the season goes on. And nothing can stop them. That's how good the Chiefs are.
Folks, if you're just tuning in, he is attempting to curse the Chiefs.
No, I'm
so
not.
hard
I'm
right
just
now.
talking of what I
So
see.
hard.
I'm just talking about what I see on the field.
So hard.
I see what I see.
Yeah.
Perfect football team, no flaws. They'll never lose again. Travis Kelce, clearly the best tight end to ever play football.
Wow, you're trying to curse him hard, bud. Was it? It's not next week. It's the week after that. They're somehow still going to put the Chiefs and Broncos on Sunday Night Football.
Maybe. You know, that's the thing. It's. I think what people don't understand is it doesn't have to be the best matchup for Sunday Night Football. Are people going to watch this matchup? Say what you want. Broncos fans watch, even when their team...
It has to be hate watching at this point. It has to be.
Yeah, sure.
I will say, though, because I do want to talk about the Jaguars, because I want to talk about the Ravens. That final drive by Trevor Lawrence, holy crap, man. Like that, because Trevor Lawrence has been playing pretty well this season. Like, he's been doing well. He hasn't been like the issue. But that final drive, I was like, yeah, that's why he went number 1 overall. Like, that was impressive as hell. That was one of the best like final drives I've seen in quite some time. So shout out to Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, well, that game, look, no, Lawrence was good. You got Zay Jones making a catch there. They score. Jamal Agnew. They do all the things, you're supposed to do. It was like the first time the Jags won with a 7-point deficit in the fourth quarter, like ever or some shit. I don't know. Some dumb stat like that. But they also benefited from the Ravens imploding at the end of the game. And it's been a problem for the Ravens all season long.
Yep. And
I don't know how you explain it, because comparing them to the Broncos, the Ravens have a good head coach, right? They have the stability there. But they do like all comebacks, like all night, like really great comebacks. And the Jags, this was one of them. The team leading has to start doing stupid stuff. And the Ravens did. They try and return a kick out of the end zone, and they get 6 yards. So they're backed up all the way to the 6-yard line. And then Gus Edwards fumbles, giving the ball right back to the Jaguars, and then they score. But, the Ravens make a play after that. Duvernay he hit, or Robinson? I forget. Lamar Jackson throws a friggin' bomb to get the Ravens in field goal range. And we think Justin Tucker is so good that he can just automatically kick a 67-yard field goal.
And it looked good, too.
It was straight. If that were, I don't know, in Denver at Mile High, I think he probably kicks it. But that's how insanely talented Justin Tucker is.
Yeah.
Like 67 yards. Oh, the Jags are about to lose.
Yeah, we're about to lose.
Or tie, whatever the final. I don't know. I forget what it was, but, he comes up short. So credit the Jags for, playing clutch football. Also, not something we get to say with the Jags very often. And the Ravens for having a real problem, and that is finishing football games. Maybe one of the worst finishing teams of the season.
Well, so this is the problem now. So real quick, also going for the 2-point conversion at the end of the game instead of settling for the tie and going into overtime. Jaguars did that. Also, the Chargers did that yesterday too.
Yeah.
Because they were going toe to toe with the Cardinals, and the Cardinals offense actually looked a little bit alive for a hot moment. So two teams doing the same thing. But yeah, the Jaguars, I think it just gives you like a base. Christian Kirk, a lot of people made fun of them, including myself, for paying him all that money. That looks like that is paid off. Like he's been a good receiver this year.
Yeah.
So I know Etienne getting hurt, I think that definitely impacted that game plan there. But they got some things to build upon if you're the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I don't know, like I think there's some hope maybe in Jacksonville for the first time in a while.
They got a franchise QB that can continue to develop. They got a head coach that is not Urban Meyer. And they got another draft, an offseason to build upon. So, yeah. And that, it's division. They can jump to the top of that division pretty easily and quickly. I mean, the Titans are a tough football team, but they just lose a tough one to the Bengals. I don't know what the hell's going to happen with the Colts moving forward. What did they play the Steelers tonight? Is it Colts Steelers?
Yeah, it's Colts Steelers.
Yeah. So that'll be a fun game. So yeah, Jacksonville could be one of those teams that jumps to first in that division because the Texans are not getting good anytime soon.
No, they're not.
They are legit the worst team in football.
Yeah.
Broncos are right behind them, but thank God the Texans are there because I would have to say maybe the Broncos are the worst, but I don't because of the Texans.
But you talked about the Ravens and last week, because we've been talking about like, okay, their defense can't finish games. Their offense is kind of keeping it in them. Like Lamar Jackson was MVP talks like for the first like little bit of the season. And now the offense like has 2 back-to-back weeks where they do not look great. They didn't look great against the Panthers. And now they do not look great against the Jaguars and they wind up blowing the game. So I don't know. The North is also in the AFC is a weird division. The Bengals won a game yesterday, and they're dealing with injuries. Mixon wasn't there. Jamar Chase wasn't there. They win because the Titans go after the long snapper after a field goal, and it winds up setting up with 1st and goal instead of giving the ball back to the Titans down 7 with like 2 minutes left. They should get better, the Bengals, and it might be their division to take because I just don't know like what the hell is going on with the Ravens like at all. So yeah, I don't know, man. They're a weird team and they feel like they should be better than they are. And I know they're dealing with injuries and stuff like that, but
yeah, every team is now.
Yeah.
Some more so than others. The only team that gets the injury excuse is the Broncos. So
they're the only ones. That's it. In addition, Miami, like they continue to look good. Like they sat Tua down because they were just like, yep, we're blowing them out. They were winning 30-0 in the first half against the Texans. And the Texans, yeah, they looked like by far the worst team in the league yesterday. Not much to say there, but things to say, and I don't want to blow it out of proportion, but Mike White.
Ooh, Hall of Famer Mike White.
Against a bad...
It was Deshaun Jackson.
There you go.
So I already wrote some... Thank you, Con Man. I can't even remember, and I just friggin' wrote about it like an hour.
Yeah, so...
Mike White.
22 for 28, 315 yards, 3 tutties, 0 picks. Now, it's going against a Justin Fields-less Bears. It's going up against a Bears defense who is not good this season. They trade away a lot of their talent, but maybe.
Look,
maybe.
What you know for sure is Zach Wilson wouldn't have put up those numbers against the Bears. I don't care. No. It was a great game. Highest passer rating this week, Mike White. And that's dating back to the Turkey games. All right. Efficient, did what he was supposed to do. Here's the thing with Mike White, and this is what will be interesting. He played in 4 games in 2021.
Yeah.
He goes in against the Patriots, the Jets.
The Bengals game, the first game he played, right? And he beat him.
What's that?
Was it the Bengals game? Which was his big game where he came out.
That was definitely his first full start and 3 touchdowns, 405 passing yards. He did throw 2 picks in that game. Then they play the Colts and lose in a weird game the next week. And then against Buffalo, he throws 4 interceptions,
Yep.
0 touchdowns, 54% passing. So we've seen him play
At a high level.
like 2 pretty good games, and then it got worse and worse. But the Jets were a different team then.
I agree.
Their defense wasn't what it is now. They didn't have all of the weapons they do on offense now. So, like, if you're a Jets fan, you should be very happy about what Mike White did. Cautiously happy moving forward. But, like, and I was talking about this on the podcast with Will last night. The Jets, very good defense, very good team. You believe that if you're watching that football team play, and you knew there was one problem. It was your quarterback. It was a singular issue. Remove it, they play great. Now let's see how they do it against, tougher defenses. But I think Mike White doesn't have to do what he did against the Bears.
No.
But he just has to be better than Zach Wilson, not turn the ball over, put a couple drives together per game, and I think that team can win. It's like the Broncos, you can't point to that one singular issue. There's too many. It's too much of a mess. The Jets made a change. It fixed it. Their defense also, I saw the thing about like Sauce Gardner saying like the defense was talking on the sideline, how it was kind of weird to just be like chilling a little bit and not like while the offense was out there doing their thing.
Yeah.
And that's if the defense can be a little more rested every game, like you might see the Jets defense get even better. So should be optimistic. Like the Jets now, if you're comparing them to the Giants, you should feel a lot better about the Jets finishing this season strongly than like the Giants.
I agree.
And, mid-October, it would be kind of vice versa. Like, okay, maybe the Giants are putting something together, but Giants lack a lot of talent, and Jets, I'd be bullish on them.
Well, I think what you also, as a Jets fan, like you have a lot of optimism on the future of your team, right? Breece Hall, like he looked like a stud this year before he got injured. Garrett Wilson has looked great and really thrived under Mike White yesterday, made some really big plays, had 2 touchdowns. He looked good. Even Elijah Moore had himself a touchdown. So like that was nice. It'd be interesting to see if they had a real QB back there. And I think you got glimpses of that yesterday. We'll see how long, Mike White can actually play. But I mean, like I said, maybe they're in the market for a QB next year. Russell Wilson.
New York, man, he would do well in New York over Rusty Wilson.
You think so, dude? He would. Oh my God, he would be hated by
what
week
Russell
3.
Wilson needs is more attention on his
week
play.
3. My God, he would. That would be so bad. It would be so bad. So yeah. So that was the thing too, and I mentioned that. Yeah, the Bengals, they were able to shut down Derrick Henry very, very well. Both offenses like struggled. P. Ryan had a nice day in terms of just like able to like break free some, had some nice stiff arms too. But yeah, their offense looked weird. T. Higgins had some big plays for the Bengals, but they are missing Mixon and Chase 1,000,000%.
Yeah. Here's like the Bengals are an example of an offense that I am jealous of, in that their receivers are actually so good that when shit's not really going great, Joe Burrow can just throw it up. Is it Jamar Chase? No, he's hurt. Well, there's T. Higgins, who made multiple jump ball, tough catches in that game. Who is the other dude? Some guy I've never heard of.
You're talking about, oh my God, it's like Irvin. No, it's the one who he looks like Adam Cole. That's the only reason I know who he is, and I know you don't know who that is.
Hold on.
Trenton Irwin, who made that catch.
Yes.
Yeah.
He makes a hell of a catch.
Dude. Oh my God. Yeah.
Like Burrow's got guys he can just throw it up to. And that's what Joe Burrow's very good at. And it's like, I keep going back to the Broncos, obviously. They don't have that. They don't have any guy you can just throw it up to and assume he's going to make the catch. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it makes watching the Bengals fun. And it's what makes them a dangerous team, even when the cards are kind of stacked against them. Because, like you said, Joe Mixon not in that game, and they just really found their rhythm with Joe Mixon and their offense clicking with him. So It's an underrated thing to have really, really good receivers. And the Jets, you were just talking about Garrett Wilson. It was like a week ago, like he went off in the locker room, right? About them sucking on offense. Like that's a rookie. That's a young guy like stepping up and being like a leader in the locker room and being like the guy trying to motivate his team. Bad teams don't have that either. Like I feel like my team doesn't have any of those guys on offense, but
at least now they know. Yeah. No, I get you. They have playmakers.
Yes.
That's what it is. They have playmakers.
But that's an easy thing to say. But when you watch T. Higgins make two just incredible catches in a close game that are difference makers, shows you how important that is. The Dolphins are another example of get your guy some playmakers and good things will happen. Now you got to have a quarterback who's going to facilitate and get him the ball, but the 49ers are a weird team in that like they have all those, and then we watched them, struggle against the Saints offensively, but their defense stepped up and was so good. They're going to get that back and forth. Maybe their offense isn't great every week, but their defense can bail them out. And it's not going to become a thing where their defense starts to despise their offense because their offense will eventually make plays.
He'll actually do something.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I get you. That's valid. That's valid. Yeah, the Bengals, again, they definitely could win. And by the way, I'm sorry. Yes, they do look the same. Because this is Trenton Irwin right here on the left, right? And that's Adam Cole.
Oh, kinda.
All right, calm down. They're the same person. They're the same person.
Trenton Irwin looks like a country singer to me.
Maybe he is. Kind of has a name too. We talked about the Commanders. Chargers, Cardinals. That was a very close game. Kyler Murray come back, giving the Cardinals some life there. James Conner having himself a nice day. I think he fumbled earlier in the day, but had 120 yards, so he did play pretty well. DeAndre Hopkins, still towards DeAndre Hopkins. Herbert, they allowed him to get sacked 4 times. Again, they're also dealing with like a ton of injuries. But they also can't run the ball, which is interesting because the Cardinals played the 49ers last week, and the 49ers ran all over him. Here, Justin Herbert was the lead rusher.
He was 38 yards on 4 carries.
Yep. Eckler was really good in the passing game.
That's the thing. Like, if the Chargers could run like efficiently, doesn't even have to be great. I think it would help quite a bit. Especially as they're trying to get through like the injuries to Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. But they use Eckler in the short passing game so effectively. Yes. That's basically running the football to them. So I would criticize them for their lack of running ability, but they do get runish plays by short passes to Eckler.
Sure.
He had 60 receiving yards and a touchdown, 80 rushing, so 80 total yards. You want more out of him, but
yeah, they do. But listen, again, they were another team, went for 2 at the very end, got it. But they're a team that, like, I don't know, they could put up points, but like playoffs, I don't know. They wouldn't be a team that like scares me a whole lot.
Chargers?
Yeah. Like I can see them maybe winning in the wild card round, depending on who they go against. But like they go up against the Chiefs, which I know that they put up a fight. Like Chiefs, I think beat them. Yeah, I think they do.
But the one thing, the Chargers at some point should get Joey Bosa back. And I think that can help quite a bit. That's he's a good football player, you idiot. But you talked about the Packers not having a pass rush against the Eagles.
Yeah.
And Denver, while their defense was playing well, while they were rotating guys on edge, had a pretty decent pass rush all season. Last 2 weeks, their pass rush has disappeared. And it showed in the Panthers game. It's why Sam Darnold was able to just beat them efficiently. There was no pass rush. They didn't sack him once. I don't even think like he ever felt like he might take a sack. Like that's how it was just not there. And of course, Panthers ran the ball well. But if the Chargers get a little boost to their pass rush, Bosa comes back, helps Khalil Mack a little bit, then that could be something that if you're looking at the Chargers as a threat in the playoffs, that they have something that, has been lacking previously. So
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
that could be big.
They're playing the Dolphins in a couple of weeks. Like that should be like a good litmus test to see like where they are too. So because the Dolphins, as we talked about, they took care of business. Speaking of your division, Josh Jacobs, over 300 total yards.
It was nice to see him do it to somebody that wasn't the Broncos.
It's true. That is true. Yeah. Like he basically almost had the entire Eagles rushing yards.
Yeah. 300 total scrimmage yards for Josh Jacobs.
226-yard
walk-off touchdown in overtime.
That's crazy. There you go.
Okay, Larry.
But yeah, so Josh Jacobs is that guy. And going up against the Seahawks, where now like Seahawks, maybe you're I don't know, maybe there's a little panic going on. The 49ers are starting to rise. We'll talk about their game next. And then Seahawks starting to come down a little bit, losing to the Raiders. I mean, listen, the Seahawks, they definitely overperformed this year, right? They had a much better record than I think everyone, including their own fans, anticipated. And they're not done yet, but yeah, this was a Josh Jacobs day.
Yeah.
And Derek Carr, like we thought he got hurt in the very beginning too, but he wound up coming back.
The Seahawks, the last 2 weeks, are experiencing their exact problem that they had with Russell Wilson. And it's when they can't run the ball effectively, they lose games. Now, Geno Smith, he played fine. Like the Seahawks scored 34 points in this game.
Yeah.
But they couldn't run the ball. Kenneth Walker, 1.9 yards per carry. Geno Smith was their second leading rusher with 22 yards. So in order for Seattle to succeed, they have to run the ball well. It's not just like that their offense needs it. It's their defense is not good. They were bad early in the season. Then we saw them play a little bit better, and I think that's because the offense putting together long drives, keeping the defense off the field a little bit. You disrupt the rhythm of opposing teams, and we saw Josh Jacobs just run the ball through them all day long. So Seattle, they need to run the ball, and they don't have the defense that's going to carry them like they used to. But, that's Seattle. They lost to the Bucs, and now they lose to the Raiders, and now they're going the wrong way in their division.
Also,
but I still want them to beat the 49ers. Go Hawks.
Max Crosby.
No, he's good. He's been good.
I know he gave the Broncos fits, and he was good in this game too.
So. I think last season he led the entire NFL in QB pressures.
He is good. He's really
which was a funny stat because like the Raiders defense was really a liability, as it has been this year too. But yeah, he was it also like what year was Max Crosby drafted? Was that 2019? Max Crosby draft
2019, 4th round.
Yeah, so that was the draft that the Raiders had those 3 first-round picks. Josh Jacobs was one of them, and that's been the good one. Jonathan Abram, Cleveland Farrell were the other ones in there. And they get Max Crosby late. If they had been smarter with those other 2 first-round picks, that would have been like an all-time draft for the Raiders. Because Max Crosby, they got in the, I forget, it was late 3rd or 4th round, something like that.
4th, yeah.
Such a good draft pick. If they just hit on those other ones, their team would be in such a better position. But damn.
Welcome to the draft.
Abram gone. Cleveland Farrell probably going to be gone after the season. And if Josh Jacobs is smart, he gone. He leave that team because they did not pick up his 5th-year option. Do not go back to that franchise, Josh.
They're going to offer him a boatload of money.
I don't care Come somewhere nice. Come somewhere where you'll be respected.
Are you just trying to poach everybody's players now?
Oh God, I need so many players. I need so many players.
Real quick, before we talk about the 49ers, Rams Chiefs game, the beginning of the year, I'd have been like, wow, potential Super Bowl matchup. And then it wasn't. Yeah, this game was a game. Patrick Mahomes made a really weird interception, like in the end zone. Doesn't really do that very often. But Pacheco, like you mentioned, really good. 22 for 69, had a tutty. Really kind of emerged as like their starting back. And it was just like an efficient game. I mean, the defense played well. I mean, I know they were going up against Bryce Perkins, but
yeah, rough day for Bryce Perkins. Couple picks, just 100 yards passing. The Chiefs were like 1 of 6 in the red zone because I saw like Chiefs fans tweeting at me like, "How do you live with this kind of performance in the red zone every week? This is hard to watch." And they won by what, 16 points still?
Yeah.
You know, that's what good teams do. Again, what did I say? Chiefs are clearly the best team in football. Everything with Kansas City, they're doing it right. I just don't see any way any team can stop the Chiefs at any point ever, really. That's how impressed I am with the Kansas City Chiefs.
You're trying so hard. You're trying so hard.
No, I'm just speaking from El Harto.
Okay. All right. Can we talk about the 49ers, please? This team confuses me. Here's what doesn't confuse me. Their defense is really good. Their defense has been shutting out everybody in the second half. They shut out the Saints the entire half. Alvin Kamara wound up fumbling when they like looked like they were actually going to finally put some points on the board. But dude, their offense just is weird to me. They can have a performance like they do against the Cardinals. And listen, the Saints have a pretty good defense, but they can have a performance like they do against the Cardinals. They're running them down their throat. And like Elijah Mitchell, 35 yards. McCaffrey, 32 yards. Mason, 25 yards. Like, and it's just like kind of like chipping away. And all those like those offensive weapons, I don't know. It's weird to me. You're not playing up against the same exact defense every single year. I get that. But I just think like they should have blown them out.
Well,
they won, which is what's important, but
and the Niners coming up this week. It's one of the games of the week because they play the Dolphins on Sunday.
Yes.
Who, Dolphins defense played very well against the Texans and Kyle Allen, but I don't think the Dolphins defense is that good. And we know the Dolphins offense is incredible right now. So 49ers, we'll get to see their defense against the Dolphins offense. That's a great matchup.
That'd be a lot.
And let's see if the Niners offense can perform against the Dolphins defense, because you're right. It's very up and down. That's Jimmy G though, man.
Consistent.
That's your Jimmy G experience. You're going to get a lot of efficient play. You're going to get some really good games where everything's clicking. You're going to get some games where you just got to score a few points and hold on while your defense clamps down. So then they play the Buccaneers, Seahawks, Commanders.
Yep.
That's a nice stretch in terms of figuring out who the Niners are. I think.
I agree.
But you're right. They're confusing. I don't have a read on that team.
But their defense is good. Like that their defense is the truth. So they can win playoff games like that. It's just going to be like they go up against a team like the Eagles. Like that's going to be like a good matchup, like playoff wise. Because
it's like, all right, how burner account? Sorry.
It's okay.
I disrupted you.
So yeah, that'll be very interesting to see. Kind of the Dolphins. I'm really, really fascinated in that game. That should be a really, really good game.
Yeah, that's the game of the week right there.
There's actually some decent games in week 13, like in that 4:00 slot, because I think it's Chiefs Bengals too.
Ooh. Yeah, we've had a stretch of like a lot of underwhelming matchups the last like 3 weeks.
Yeah. I mean, just yesterday too. So, yep. By the way, I said this a few weeks ago, but the Vikings can win the division next week.
Oh my God. What has to happen for the Vikings to clinch the division?
They have to win over the Jets, and the Lions have to lose to the Jaguars.
Oh, Lions Jags. That's a game that's going to be pretty interesting.
Doesn't even have to do with the Packers, which is sad.
Wow. Jungle Cat versus Jungle Cat. Ooh. Who do I want to win that game? Detroit Lions, baby.
All right. Well, the Lions are going to lose now. So there you go. There you go. Yeah. Yeah. Kamara fumbles are not good. Not good. Well, their offense has also struggled. Unless Andy Dalton's like, never mind, I'm going to be a superstar this week.
Yeah, he's as confusing as the Niners offense. He had 3 touchdowns last week and then nothing against the Niners.
Yeah. All right, Brandon, we did it. Tonight, it's the Colts and Steelers. Colts. Really looking forward to streaming that.
Matt Ryan versus Kenny Pickett. In the battle between which man do you want to take home to your mother?
Okay. Brandon, what you got coming out today?
Best and worst of NFL Week 12, baby.
There you go. That's not bad. We
got a fitty, Tom.
That's you, isn't it?
I think it's you.
Oh, no, I got it. Thank you, Falling. Boop. Faith for the case has joined late to see that. Yes, that game was wild. How wild? I know this has to do with the Bengals, but you get a pretty kitty. Nailed it.
And somebody in the chat said lions are not jungle cats. Well, why are they called King of the Jungle?
Aren't they in the savannah? Whoa,
Jacob.
At the very end. Boop. Jacob, appreciate you for the fitty. Hold on. I'll give you.
Meow. Meow.
There you go.
What about you, Tom? What do you got coming out today?
Probably
Stink Stream.
Oh, it's not gonna be terrible. Probably gonna do a short or two. Gonna have every NFL fan's reaction to week 12 dropping after Monday night's game, and we're streaming Monday night game too.
Hell yeah.
We're gonna do it. We're probably gonna hit 392K today. I see you rising up. What are you, 333 now?
Lucky 333.
Let's go.
Yeah, man. We're gonna take over the world.
Let's do it. So hopefully, I think in 2 weeks we'll hit 400K. I think 2 weeks.
Yeah, it was like when this I look at the sub count.
Yeah,
I'm always just like waiting to get to the next 100. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, 715. Next time I check my phone, hopefully it's at what did I say?
15.
What's the number I just said?
715.
715. Let's see, it's at 800.
Yep.
Like it was like at 7 something, and then I woke up this morning and it was like crossed over, like it was like 500 new. I was like, oh,
that's such a good feeling. It's such a good feeling. Like I do the same exact thing too. Same exact thing. We are addicted to YouTube analytics. Like it literally, like it can change your mood. You're just like, oh man, it's like 312. All right, I'm gonna go to sleep. When I wake up, I hope it's at like 500.
Yeah. After on Sundays, it's rewarding because like Sundays are hard. It's just such a long day.
Yeah.
But when you put it in and then it pays off, you're like, oh yeah, all right, let's do it again next week, baby.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
All right. Anyway,
we did it. But folks, we'll be back on Wednesday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Mountain Time. Appreciate you. We had over like 4,500 people in here today. But we will see you on Wednesday. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi. That's Brandon Perna. This is GPS. And you've been